Well, hello. I didn't see you there, but I am glad you're here because I wanted a little chat. First and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope you all didn't underindulge. Always best to start a new year by completely regretting the last. Gives you a nice, solid rock bottom to start the year from, so it at least feels like the only way is up. But I digress. Today, at the beginning of all things 2020, I thought it a good time to recap what's been going on this year on the good old SIC channel. What ups and downs we've had, how they have or will be sorted, and my plans going forward. Now, as many of you will already know, the start of 2019 was incredibly shaky for me and my family, as shortly into the year, some very nice gentlemen from the local power authority thought it was a great idea to set fire to my home. It must have been a difficult task, as it took 4 of them to do it, and multiple incredibly smart decisions to lead it to that state of affairs. Suffice to say, they burned down the very much attached to my home shed, killed my poor, innocent mini chest freezer, flooded my kitchen, and murdered every single utility leading into my house. All, amazingly, without setting fire to the inside of my home and killing me and Mrs. SIC in the process. Kind of miraculous when you think about it, so well done, I guess. Surprisingly, from that moment on, we had quite the horrific week leading up to the production of this video. This was day 1 in what has so far been the hashtag shittest week of my life. Check it out if you want all the gory details. Ultimately, that led to us spending a week or so in a frankly disgusting and rather crappy hotel, and a further 3 months put up in temporary housing in an area that was less than ideal. But it was at least close enough to get the kids to school. Most of it was paid through various schemes, but it still involved a lot of expense, which is where I want to say my first set of thank yous to all the people who sent me donations, which was obviously amazing in itself, but the fact that I did not ask them to in the first place would have brought a tear to my eye if I had feelings. But seriously, all of you guys, every penny given, just made the whole thing so much easier, making the stress 10 times more manageable, and I really can't thank you enough. That does lead to what I did ask for, as during the stay in what we called the holiday home, for the sake of the kids, that was a fun part of the whole thing, trying to make everything for them as normal as possible was quite challenging, but I think we pulled it off with minimal screw-ups. As we were out of the house proper, I no longer had access to any of my other sources of income, that is, repairing and selling random crap on eBay, basically. So I decided to go full force on YouTube, as that was something that I was able to do reasonably easily. I created this video.
6 interview tips.
Upon entering the interview room, raise your arms above your head to appear larger and assert your dominance. Weird. This is turning into like a clip show. That wasn't intentional, but oh well. I created that video as a sort of drive to drum up a little bit more income and make YouTube viable as the primary source of income that I had. So we, that is Mrs. SIC and I, set up a merchandise store, the SIC Whiskey Club membership program, and reminded people that Patreon exists. And it all went pretty well. So far we've sold a number of pieces of SIC merch. We have a few Whiskey Club members taking advantage of our terrible emojis during the terrible streams for terrible people. Check those out every Sunday if you like, 9 PM to 10 PM GMT. I am not going to translate that to your local time. That is what Google is for. If you want to fire random nonsense at us while we talk about pretty much whatever we feel like. I literally have no idea why anybody likes them, but they keep turning up, so I'm going to keep doing them. You should come along too. Also, a number of people chose to support the channel on Patreon, getting basically nothing but gratitude in return, and again, I want to thank everyone for whatever way they chose to help. It's crazy to me to think that a single person cares about anything that I do. So every one of you all just blow my mind, whatever you do, every single time you do it. A big part of the point of that drive was to gain a more sustainable and consistent income, and it was to help up the production values of the SIC channel. I got myself a better screen, a cheap but far more usable desk, and an actually comfortable chair so I could sit and work for longer stints without my back trying to murder me. But after returning from that holiday house of horror, I got to work on the single biggest change to the SIC format, which was introduced here. Well, there's that famous spirit science word salad. I've always wanted to try and make one. Welcome to Cooking with SIC, episode 1, making a delicious word salad. You gotta grab a bit of quantum, oh yeah, and some prana, maybe a little bit of entanglement and a dash of infinity. Delicious and meaningful. Set it to cook for now, and there you go. Yes, that's right. IRL SIC. Finally, you lucky people got to see me and my fat ass twat about. And shortly after that, added green screen. You got to see me and my fat ass twat about in space. Or more often, in some kind of bar setting, except, and get this, I didn't actually go there. It was all special effects. Amazing. It's been a lot of fun experimenting with it, and it makes for the nice bonus of not having to leave the house to shoot on location. But mostly it allows me to make jokes that I just can't do with my poor editing skills alone, making quote unquote animations. So that's been pretty grand. This has all been while dodging around YouTube's various attempts to tank its own platform, which I have mostly survived, thank funk, and leads me up to now. The end of this year hasn't been great in terms of viewership for some reason. Perhaps I'm just absolutely crap, which is pretty likely, let's be fair. But you all are a testament to the fact that there is an audience for my kind of stupid humour mixed with bad science and arguing over dumb stuff with idiots. And I don't for 1 second believe that you are the only mad people out there. So this year, with all I have set up during the last, I deigned to grow the SIC channel more in 1 year than I have ever done before. That all starts with me getting my arse in gear and getting a minimum of at least a couple of extra videos out a month, and really targeting getting at least 2 videos out a week plus the streams on top. And that all starts with this one actually. I'm sat writing this in between creating and publishing my previous video, instead of sitting around and just getting anxiety about whether or not I'm going to get paid this week. I've actually decided instead to do some goddamn work, which funnily enough helps me cope. That's right, the solution to all of life's problems. If you are struggling to get past a wall, just run at it harder. Either that wall is going to fall down or you're just going to smush yourself into oblivion. So whatever it is you want to get done will, or you won't care anymore from all the brain damage / death. It's win-win. Or win-win-win if you get your work done and get a serious concussion. So that's the plan. I'm going to keep the quality of my videos up while getting more of them out for you all to enjoy. And that finally leads me to you. If you want to help, there's plenty you can do. And to start, if you're watching this kind of video this far in and you aren't subscribed,
what's wrong with you?
Get that button clicked. If you are subscribed, maybe get onto that notification button that should not in any way, shape or form be necessary, but somehow is. Give it a little tickle. Now, this is all crass and obvious, but apparently it has to be said. So I'm saying it, and I'll cringe myself inside out about it later. Then, of course, you can share videos you enjoy using YouTube's share features to various social media platforms to hopefully get a few more eyes on them. I think every little thing helps. Of course, more sort of direct financial support with Patreon or the Whiskey Club all help massively if you have the money to waste on an idiot like me. And I'm going to try and send out any non-time sensitive videos a little bit early to those who do support me financially. It's not always going to happen, and it's not always going to be massively ahead of public release. But as long as YouTube makes things difficult, I'll have videos uploaded doing nothing. So I might as well have someone see it, maybe even get a little bit of feedback. And of course, never forgetting the Mrs. SIC run SIC brand merch store for your overpriced merchandise that we barely see any money for, but it's still pretty cool. Finally, one of the most useful things you can do to make my life easier is to share any stupid, nutty, misinformative, or just plain ignorant content that you would like to see me cover by emailing me at socialinequalitycrusader@gmail.com or sending it to me via direct message on Twitter at SIC My DMs are open and I check both those and the emails regularly. In fact, if you want to talk to me, ask me a question, or just say hi, I try my best to respond to everything I get on there, so fill your boots. Anyway, whatever you can do to help me grow is greatly appreciated and will lead me to making better content in the long run. And with these extra videos, I can experiment from time to time as well. I want to make 2020 the year of SIC. The year when I can finally look people in the eye and still not tell them what my channel is called, because I don't want real people looking at this crap. It's embarrassing. But you know what? In all honesty, I'll be happy if I can go this year without another bloody fire. Oh, come on! Are you tired of not being famous, handsome, and good at the sex? Well, you need brand new extra strength SIC brand merch. SIC brand merch is the only merchandise with artwork created by the famous, womansome, and almost as good at the sex, Mrs. SIC. And running the store is basically her job now, so if you don't buy something, you must hate her. And by extension, all women. You don't want to be a woman hater, do you? SIC brand merch. Because you're better than that.